The Astrodome as the TNT Redman Super Nationals continues. I'm Steve Evans along with Paul Page. The 5,800-pound tractor class is going on, and this is the third tractor to hook. This is Richard Popham in his father Kent's machine.
Now the distance to beat is 291.59, nearly 292 feet. That's set on the very first pull by Ed Govro. So to win at this, you simply have to pull farther. Now, of course, if everyone pulls that same distance, then they have to go back and reset the distance and have a pull-off. And we may have that kind of exciting moment here at the Houston Astrodome before the night is over.
And the safety certainly is impressive. As required by the rules, you just saw Richard with his hands in the air so that the officials working around the machine were comfortable. He wouldn't accidentally hit the throttle or knock the machine into gear. We used to see these guys just a few years ago, Paul, no helmets, driving in T-shirts. Now they're in full race regalia, as they should be, and off goes the outlaw.
Well, TNT certainly has done a lot to help the safety and the exposure of this now magnificent motorsport. But Richard getting real close to the left side line, and of course, if the machine gets over one of those white lines, he would be disqualified. But look at that. Steve, that looks to me like a full pull.
Clearly, he has gone past the 295-foot mark. The only concern now, and I think Richard is looking around there as well, is did he maybe cross that left outside line? From my perspective here, it didn't look like it, but I don't have the best view in the house.
Well, Steve, TNT agrees with you. Here, let's take a look at the run again and see if we can see how close he does, in fact, get to that line. Power laid down nicely as he comes off. Good run to here. Front end gets up, I think, a little higher than he would have liked. Maybe needed a little more weight on the front end. And when he comes down on this second bounce, he really starts to drift to the left. He kicks some dirt over the line, but he really never kicks the machine all the way over. Therefore, it's a good full pull.
Well, Richard, congratulations. You thrilled the crowd with that. The announcer screaming full pull, the first one of the night.
Well, I just hope there ain't a whole lot more out.
It didn't look like there was another 6 inches left, did it?
No, sir. I had to hit the brake pretty hard. I had it weighted pretty well right. Motors worked good. Just hope that it stands out.
Now, if somebody else does a full pull, we'll have a pull-off. How many tractors would you right now think might be in a pull-off, if any?
Well, there's about 2 or 3 more back there that sure could take it out.
We may be talking again then.
Yes, sir.
Good job.
Thank you.
All right, back at the head of the track now. Here is Wayne Cook. The machine is Weekend Joy. Now, you can tell by all those exhaust stacks that this is another 12-cylinder Allison aircraft engine, 1,710 cubic inches, and about 2,200 horsepower, ready to do the job on this circuit here.
And this particular Allison power plant is very much as it was when it came out of the airplane, with the front-driven supercharger, the standard aircraft induction system. Wayne Cook now gets a signal, okay, take the slack out. Let's see how the old girl does.
Now remember, we have one full pull, Richard Popham, 295 feet.
Anybody who's ever driven an agricultural tractor knows that you steer with the brakes as much as you do the steering wheel. Same thing on these big modifieds. They have independent, huge brakes in the rear. You want to turn right? Well, you can always step on the right brake.
And as he starts off, the wheels don't spin up quite as fast as I think he would have liked. Now, you get a good view of the sled there, and you can see that weight transfer box coming forward. That's putting more weight on the hitch the further down the course they go, and he grinds to a stop. So Wayne Cook with his run, again, the Allison-powered tractor, at 215, so not nearly enough with one man in. Richard Popham at 295 feet as a full pull. And once again, Wayne Cook puts his hands in the air to let everybody know he isn't touching any of the controls while they unhook the machine. In the meantime, back at the starting line with a little help, Wayne Sullivan pulls on his fireproof hood and his helmet as he gets ready. Let's go now to Steve, who's with Wayne Cook.
If you could go back, set, and pull again, which you can't, what would you do? A little better balance? What?
Run a different gear. I'd run a slower gear. I've been having trouble with this for the last 2 weekends, and I think it's right now, and I wish I'd run a faster one.
With a quicker or a slower wheel speed?
Faster wheel speed.
Get you down the track.
It's a loose track, and that's what it takes, tire speed.
Thanks for the information.
Thank you.
So we get an idea that this track is running just a little bit loose as the Kentuckian roars out with 2 mighty engines, and Wayne Sullivan is ready to accept the challenge as he takes a look down the track, brings the revs down, a study of what ruts and what the track looks like just ahead.
Even though the Kentuckian is a highly bred competition machine, it still has the cowling on the front of a farm tractor, and that makes it a real crowd favorite. Oh, boy, look at this pole vault. Here comes the weight transfer box, but the Kentuckian team's up to the task.
Struggling at the end of the run, but it appears that he gets it done, too, coming just to the line, 295 feet. So we've got another full pull to match that of Richard Popham, and we have a pull-off here at the Houston Astrodome. So Wayne Sullivan now takes the Kentuckian through with a full pull, and he seems more than pleased with that situation.
And Sullivan took it out with a little more of a cushion than did Richard Popham. He could be a real favorite when we get to that pull-off. Here again is that beautiful machine.
Well, look at the way the wheels spin up coming off the line. He apparently did a little anticipation because he had the brake locked on the left rear as he came off the line and then settled that front end down perfectly. A really nice run, though it seemed to be lacking a little power right at the end. They had to struggle to get it across the line. Nevertheless, it is a full pull.
Oh, boy, that was an exciting pull. You know, Wayne, you know it's a full pull. You will join Ken Popham in a pull-off. You know, it looked to me like you had the best hole shot of the night so far. Tremendous launch.
Yeah, I put it over on the far side of the track because the track's getting tore up, and it felt good coming out of the hole. It launched good, and middle ways, all I had to do is try to keep it straight.
And you were here 10 years ago at the first pull in the Astrodome.
Yes, sir, I've been here about every year. I ain't missed a one. And I want to say hi to my sister because she's my biggest fan, and she said I'll never say hi.
Okay, well, you did this time. We'll see you in the pull-off.
Thank you. I'll be back.
Wayne's been here the entire history of TNT here in the Astrodome, and you can see by this giant crowd, it gets more popular every year. Here's the leaderboard with both Popham and Sullivan now with a full pull, so we definitely have a pull-off, and still the possibility of others surpassing that 295-foot distance. One of those, well, might it be Jan Schmeising? The bionic buzzard is the machine, and they're getting ready. We'll be back with more action after this.
Next to hook the 5,800-pound class. I'm Steve Evans along with Paul Page. And Paul, again, here's aircraft power.
Right, once again, the popular Allison aircraft engine, the V-12. Jan Schmeising is from Sydney, Ohio. Now, not far away is Hinckley, Ohio, where just like the Swallows at San Juan return once a year, the Buzzards return to Hinckley. And this is the bionic buzzard, so apparently Jan Schmeising, so enamored with that whole idea, names the machine after the returning Buzzards and hopeful to make a return here one of great success as he faces 2 full pulls already on the boards.
Well, Paul, I used to live in San Juan Capistrano, California, and I can tell you on the day the Swallows return, all I've ever seen is tourists trying to find the Swallows.
I think at Hinckley, all they do is try to get indoors when the Buzzards come in.
I think the same PR guy just struck in both towns. Little fire out of the pipe of the Allison, but that's pretty normal. One of these engines, little raw fuel getting exploded in the atmosphere. Now the RPMs come up and the fire kind of settles down.
A custom-built machine here. Now, all of the drivers that have yet to come stand at the back of the lane when each pull is made, and they study where the traction is coming from. They walk whenever they can the course. One of the officials making sure everything is finally ready to go, and the power is applied. Now, everybody's done their study. Hopefully, they pick the best part. Here, we've got a little too light front end. As the front end comes off the ground, still the pull is looking pretty good. Gets her down the course quite a distance. Will it be a full pull? Well, it's close if it's not. Let's wait for the officials to report out the distance, because this one is going to be close. Will we have a third contestant in the pull-off?
Well, Paul, I am down at the 295 mark, and I can't tell. This is going to take a very careful laser measurement. No, he has not made it. Jan Schmeising has just missed.
Some very sophisticated equipment here to determine the exact distance. Let's go back and look at Jan Schmeising's run. Gets some good wheel speed coming off the line, but the problem is in that rising front end. He struggles to try and get it back down, to get the front wheels to bite, give him a little bit of guidance, help control that weight using the wheel brakes, and it was as good a run as Jan could do, but it came up just a little bit short.
Jan, we just got word you were about a foot short of a full pull.
No kidding. I thought it was out.
Not quite, 294 and change.
Over there. I thought sure it was out.
Very exciting pull, though. The way the thing was bucking around, I didn't think it'd get that far.
Yeah, I should have had another weight on the front. It would have went a lot better. Motor's running good.
I'll say there's a lot of flame out of this engine, more than any of the other aircraft engines. Why?
Well, it's a different kind of blower than on any of them. It's got a 2-stage supercharger on, and it's the only Allison running like that.
Well, for a lack of a bit of weight, you might have been in the pull-off.
Okay, thank you.